If you have the Superfoils and you have Electric and Barbarella, or you have Glass Slipper and Gilded Carriage, stop using them immediately. They have rust underneath. Mine have rust underneath. Go and check yours. I reckon yours are going to be exactly the same. Hello my lovelies, and this is a big video of why you should not be using your Lime Crime Superfoils. Yeah, by now most of you may or may not have heard about the rusting in the pans that have been going on with the Lime Crime Superfoils. Well, I thought I would be very, very clever. I thought I would depot mine, because mine weren't showing any of the signs that people have been seeing, what Lime Crime have termed the glycerine bubbles, that are supposed to be just purely pigments that are rising to the surface according to their manufacturers. I'll insert a picture of a few of their responses. So I thought I would be clever and depot mine and get mine out of the pans, because that's what people thought were rusting. People seem to think it is the pans that are rusting, and yeah, I think I might have worked out what's wrong with it. Now you will see footage of the pans, and I will put one right, and just before I start this you will have seen the pans telling me to stop using them, and I would highly suggest that you stop using them. Please stop using your Superfoils. They are not safe, and the reason they are not safe, and the reason why there is rust in some of them, they've used glycerin as an ingredient, and they have used iron oxides. What is iron oxides? That is what rust is made of. And the big fuck up Lime Crime made, because this is Lime Crime's fuck up definitely, is they used glycerin, which draws in moisture into a product that contains something that rusts. That is the ingredient of rust. It is on the box. It is on the box, and it is just there. Iron oxides is just there. I will insert a clearer picture of that just here, so you can see for yourself that the ingredients in this, glycerin and iron oxides. Stupidest thing in the world to do. Mine were absolutely disgusting. They really were. And I want to show you one that I have kept a little bit wet. Now this is the one that I was going to be giving away on my giveaway. It is Electric and Barbarella. That was one of mine. That was one of the worst. And I left a little bit of water in it. I left a little bit of water in it on the product to see what would happen. And yeah, the product itself, the actual eyeshadow itself has started to go rusty. It's not the pan that's going rusty, it's not the pan, it is the actual product itself. Listed in the ingredients is iron oxide, the thing that rust is made out of. Mixed with water, it rusts, it turns bad for your eyes. So it's the actual product, it's not the pan, it's the products that's going to go rusty. It's not glycerin bubbles. These are not eye safe, don't use them. And now you can watch me depotting mine, thinking I was being clever. So as you may or may not be aware, Lime Crime is having some problems with their Superfoils. And as you may or may not be aware, I have a few of them. I have 6 of them. So we're going to do an experiment today. We're going to find out if mine have been affected too. Now, Lime Crime says that these are still perfectly safe to use, that what people have found in their Superfoils is not rust. I will show you a couple of their responses screenshotted off their Instagram here. And I will put links in the description bar below for you to go and check out what they've said. I will link to their Instagram. I will link to people like Beauty Investigator, who have been keeping their eye on what's been going on with this. So, these are my Lime Crime Superfoils. After this all started happening, I'm like, well, I've spent a lot of money on these. I really don't want them to go rusty. I went out and bought myself some little plastic pots. Now this should do 2 things. This should prevent it from going rusty should what's been going on with them actually be rust. And it should also mean that the fact that they've got glycerin in, which is what people think is the problem with the tin pans, because they are sealed, the moisture should stop getting at them. So I'm hoping to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm hoping I will find no rust in mine. But we need to find out. Let's find out, shall we? So first off, let's open these up. And the first one I've got here is 22 and on point, and let's open that up. And there appears to be none of the bubbling and none of the colour change that other people have seen. So I will scrape that off, although you can see here that the mirror has got very foggy. A lot of people have been talking about how the mirror's been getting very foggy, and that's to do with the fact that the glycerine is sucking in the moisture in the air. So we'll start by scraping that out. So that is that one. I'm going to start with one side and then the other. I'm going to get my little pot ready so I can depot it into that. It is just a cuticle pusher back, but it should do the job well enough. Because they are super soft, it should come up relatively easily. I want to try and save as much of these as possible, and it's going to go all over the top. Maybe I should have done this on a piece of paper, never mind. I'm thinking scraping it onto a piece of paper would be a better idea. So I'm going to go and get some. Right, so let's keep scraping this off, because anything that goes on the paper I can then pick up and repress into this pot. Pan on this one looks okay actually. There seems to be no rusting or anything on these pans, or this pan at least. So I'm just going to put the rest of that in there so I can rescue. Which one would that be? That would be on point. I'm not going to press it down in the pan because actually it's going to be much easier to use it this slightly loose to get the really foiled effect. Let's move on to the other side, which is 2-2, and get that into a little pot. And this one also appears to be okay. So 2-2 and on point, as you can see, have got a perfectly fine pan. There is no rust or anything. So I'm happy with still using those, but I am going to now use them from those little pots instead. So let's open up Superfoil Electric and Barbarella. So on one side we've got electric, the other side we've got Barbarella. Again, there seems to be no kind of bubbles or discoloration, which has been evident on the ones that are particularly bad. So let's just get them into pots and see what the pan's like. Electric was much tighter packed, and can you see that the bottom of the pan, is it going to focus? The bottom of the pan seems to be focused here. Seems to have a bit discoloration where the product is actually hitting the pan. I wonder if the product is having a reaction to the pan rather than... That's interesting. It doesn't seem to be rusting. It seems to be where the product is rather than the product. It seems to be the product itself. That's very strange. I don't know if I'm going to use that one. Let's try the other side, shall we? So this one seems to be okay. There is no discoloration on that side with where the products hit the pan. So I don't know what's going on with that side. It's not rust. Let's bring on Cosmic and Firefly. So that is Firefly, that is Cosmic. I'm not sure, no. Doesn't appear to be any bubbles on this one. So let's get it into pots and see what the underneath looks like. These are so loosely packed that it's just falling away. That's Cosmic and Firefly picked out, and no rusting on the pan there. Let's open up the next one, and this one is Golden Slipper and Glass Carriage, and these, you can see I've used them, so there was a bit of a cross-contamination between those two, but and that's what that discoloration down there is, just the cross-contamination between the two. So let's dig this one out, because I know this is one of the ones that's been having problems. So we'll start with Golden Slipper. This is another one of those that seems to be stuck to the bottom of the pan. And yes, I think we've got rust. Unlike the other one, it doesn't seem to be a reaction with the actual pigment. There appears to be, it's very hard to scrape that off, and the colour of the pan is not that shiny silver that you get on the others. This one has definitely reacted to the pan. Now can you see how that is all stuck to the bottom of the pan? The bottom of the pan of that is not great. I think the lighting in here is still not very good, so I will try and take a picture of it after I've scraped out the other side. Let's see what glass slipper looks like when we get that out. Glass slipper came out really easily. Can you look at the difference in the side of the pens and the way they've come out? It's something to do with the other shadow. I'm also not sure I'm going to use that because it's got bits of golden carriage in it, which is a bit of a shame, because otherwise I think that one would have been safe to use. Right, on to the ones that are more likely to have the reaction. We've got Malibu and Convertible. Let's get them open. And as you can see, there is a slight discoloration down Malibu. So let's get Malibu scraped out. Right, other than the discoloration on the surface, the pan on this seems to be absolutely fine. So that's a bit of a mystery. Maybe it's just, don't know, a reaction between the air, the pan, and I'm not sure. So let's have a look at Malibu and see what the pan on that is like. I called it Malibu, I think it's actually Convertible, but Convertibles come off the pen really easy as well, and I don't think there's no rust on that either. I'm going to give it a quick wipe. All of the ones that are a bit dodgy, I'm going to give them a wipe over with a wet cloth to bring off the Superfoils and see what I can see underneath the bits. But I don't think there is any rust on that one at all. And last but not least, we've got Flamingo and Lawn, and I appear to have no bubbles or dark marks around the edges. So let's have a look, shall we? I have got that extremely frosty mirror that everyone talks about. So let's get Lawn out. Yeah, no rust or anything on the pans on these. Right, let's get Flamingo out, shall we? So that is Lawn and Flamingo out of the pans, and the pan looks absolutely fine. There is no rusting or anything on that one either. So of the 6 that I have depotted, yeah, or the 12 altogether, here are all the 12 that I have depotted. Of all of them, I have one concern, which is that one there, which had the discoloration on it. I have 2 which I think has got an awful pen. I'm going to go and clean that and come back. And that one as well was also stuck to the pen and slightly discoloured at the bottom. These 2 are the ones that worry me the most. These 2 are the ones that appear to have reacted really badly with the pan, and maybe they are rusting the pan due to some of the ingredients that are in them. This one was a slight concern because of the discoloration, but as I said, that one appears to have no rusting on the pan where the discoloration was happening. So I will rinse this pan out as well, but the others seem to be absolutely fine. What would I suggest? I would suggest that you do depot them if you can. You may lose some product, but at the end of the day, your eye health is more important than minuscule bits of missing eyeshadow. So I've rinsed these out now, and you will have seen the beginning of the video, you will have seen the other 2. This is the one that had the discoloration, so this is Convertible and Malibu, and Convertible had the discoloration. There doesn't appear to be any rusting at all in the tin. There seems to be a couple of little dark marks there, which may be the beginnings of rust, so I'm not going to use that one anymore. But it does seem to be fine. The pan seems to be absolutely fine. Now, the thing that set me off was I cleaned this one first, and as soon as water hit that pan, I got the smell of wet rust. You know that smell. If you've been out near rusty cars when it's raining, or anything with rust, anything metal that's rusted, you will know the smell. As soon as the water hit the pan, I was like, I can smell rust. That is electric. That is the pan, and that is rust. That is horrible. It smelt like rust. The bottom of that pan is horrible. Whatever is going on, that eyeshadow has reacted to that pan, and it is gone horrible. It's even worse on Gilded Carriage. That has just gone atrocious, and I can't get that off. I was using a nail brush to scrape that up, and it was not coming off. Something has gone horribly wrong with the formula on that. It smells like rust. I'm going with rust. I'm going with that is not eye safe. Do not put that on your eyes. That is awful. Don't risk it. Send it back to Lime Crime. Do a PayPal dispute. Do whatever you have to do. If you don't believe me, please go and check the bottom of yours, because they could be really, really nasty.